everybody, it's me, Vicki Marie. And first of all, I'd just like to say thank you to everyone for watching. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. Special thanks to my members, as always. Make all the difference to my channel. Thank you so much. Also, thank you to those of you who have sent me a super sticker or bought me a Ko-fi or PayPal me. I really appreciate everything that you do to support my channel. All of you that have emailed me, sent me links, sent me suggestions, given me information, or left nice messages, or just said something nice to make me feel better at times when I don't feel too good, which, if you watch my channel, you know things aren't brilliant. Anyway, the other thing I'd like to say is good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. I hope that you're having a good morning, a good afternoon, or a good day, and I hope you're looking forward to the weekend, and I hope you'll have a safe, happy, and healthy weekend. So, what we're going to talk about in this video is Jay. This is Jay, handsome, young man who unfortunately made a few wrong decisions when he was on his first holiday abroad in Tenerife. Thought he could do sort of more than he actually could do, and sort of set off again along some dangerous terrain, hoping to make it back to his apartment the following morning after he'd been on a rave for 3 days, and ended up going back to somebody else's apartment, but just didn't realise where it was, up in the mountains in Masca, Tenerife. And there seemed to have been some confusion about whether he could get a bus home, or what time the bus was coming. There's a lot of confusion about this case, but to me, it seems like it is a case of misadventure. Poor Jay felt that he could get back to his apartment by taking a shortcut sort of down the mountains of Masca. And of course, it's a very, very deadly terrain. And Jay would not have realised this. He did not know the area. He, of course, was just out of a 3-day festival. He probably had a little bit to drink. He probably had a little bit of substances, maybe. I don't know what he'd been, but he certainly hadn't slept properly, probably for 3 days. He was having fun. He was having a party. He had a brilliant. The only good thing that I always think about this is Jay had a good time on that holiday. At that festival, I think he just had a great time. But unfortunately, he found to his cost, in my opinion, what can happen when, as a young person, you think you're invincible and you think you can do anything, and actually you couldn't. So, of course, Jay had come out of the Airbnb where he'd gone back to stay with a couple of sort of acquaintances of his, and he'd phoned a couple of, or Snapchatted a couple of his friends. And the first time it was sort of he was making a joke of where he was, oh God, look where I am. And, he was slipping down the slopes and that, but not really too worried. But by the time he had the second conversation with his friend Lucy, he was panicking. He was thirsty. He had not much coverage left on his phone. And he was panicking because he was in the middle of nowhere, and he didn't know how to get back onto the road or how to get where he was going. So very sadly, after a very long and protracted search, because it's very difficult terrain to search, Jay's body was found. Anyway, the Spanish police sort of had to helicopter him out of the ravine and where his body had fell. And when the forensic report was done, when the autopsy was done, it was decided that he did have injuries consistent with a fall from a great height. I think he had head injuries. Now, we may find out more about the actual post-mortem, because he has now been repatriated to Lancashire, to Oswaldtwistle, which is where he comes from, in the north of England, in Lancashire. And he's been repatriated there. And his inquest, he's going to be having an inquest there. And it's going to be, well, it has been opened. Now, we don't know when the actual inquest hearing is yet, but we know that the inquest has been opened, and I'm going to show you that in a moment. In fact, I'll show you that now. Let me just take this picture of Jay. So it's very, very sad. His family are heartbroken. And of course, what makes it all so much sadder is they've experienced such vile trolling, and there were so many conspiracy theories about Jay. It just must be intolerable for his family, in my opinion. I just don't know how people can be so horrible and so cruel, because I know if that was my son, and not only I was having to put up with the fact that I would never see him again, but also, you know, that so many people were so hateful about it. I just think, you know, I just don't know how they are coping. I really don't. Anyway, if we have a look at the inquest openings, there he is, Jay Dean Slater, 19, Oswaldtwistle. So all this means is that the inquest has been opened. It literally will have been opened and adjourned. And those of you that have been with me following the Nicola Bulley case, who was also a Lancashire case, this is exactly the same coroner's office that her inquest was held. And of course, that was exactly the same. The inquest was opened more or less immediately after Nicola's body had been identified or found. And then we had a long wait for the actual inquest itself, which wasn't till the 26th of June. So I think the inquest was actually opened in February, you know, just after she was found on the 19th of February. So although now the reason they do inquest openings is they want to make more investigations. So it's obviously, you know, they've received Jay's body, they've done whatever tests that have to be done on it. I'm presuming that Jay has already been buried or cremated or whatever, because although there is a memorial service tomorrow, but I'm not sure if that's the actual funeral or if the actual sort of funeral has already taken place, or the cremation or whatever they're doing with Jay's body. And tomorrow is a celebration of life, not necessarily the actual cremation or funeral itself, but we're going to be talking about that more in a moment. So, you know, it is awful to see such a young age on there, but you know, you can see there's a couple of young ages. It always depresses me when I come on these inquests, when I come and look at the inquests. There's such a variety of ages. We've got a 31-year-old, a 35-year-old, and then, of course, some older, but everyone, of course, if it's a suspicious death, it doesn't matter how old they are, if they're 84 or 19. But it just seems even sadder that you can see there's not many people on there, on this list, that are 19 years old. You know, it's so sad, isn't it? It's sad at 35, 31, but a 19-year-old, just tragic, really, isn't it? I think, anyway. So yeah, so the inquest has been open. It's been open today on the 9th of August. So we have to keep an eye out when the actual inquest itself will be held. Some people might want to go along to it. I don't think it'll be the same hoo-ha as the Nicola Bulley inquest. But of course, you know, that was all a bit of a damp squib in the end. You know, there was this big fuss about, oh, people shouldn't turn up. People were expecting people to turn up, cause so many problems. And of course, that didn't happen. The only people who actually caused problems at Nicola's inquest were her own friends, being aggressive towards anybody that they didn't know. So certainly people who were just genuinely interested in what had happened to Nicola, which, you know, it may be annoying when that's your family. But as long as they're not causing any trouble or doing anything bad, most people who care about what happened to Nicola, it's not because they don't care about what's happened to Nicola. That's why people were interested in it, because the case was mysterious. Very similar to this, I get lots of comments from people, as you can imagine, some going with the accidental death hypothesis, if you like, but that's exactly what I thought right from the beginning. I could see exactly what Jay had done, just overreached what he thought he could do. And I will think that until anybody provides me with any evidence of anything else. There's lots of people thinking he was murdered, or it was a drug deal gone wrong, or lots of things. And fair enough, I can see why people think that. But sometimes people see conspiracy in everything. Not everything is a conspiracy. Weird things happen, accidents happen all the time. The weirdest things happen. Just recently, not far away from me, a woman just fell down the side of like in a shopping centre, just fell down the side where there was a gap and died. There was a person in Tenerife that happened to. His body wasn't found for 2 years, or maybe even longer. I can't remember how long his body wasn't found for. But, strange things happen. People have freak accidents. And this, to me, is not even a freak accident. If he was walking home and he got run over, people wouldn't think anything of it. But the thing is, Jay was right up in the mountains, very difficult terrain, and he just overreached what he could do. I mean, don't forget, he'd been on a bender for 3 days. He wasn't exactly thinking logically. Some people say things like, "Oh, nobody would try and do that," in their. But you're saying that when we say things like, "Oh, surely they wouldn't do that," but that's because we're thinking from where we're looking at. Us sat at home, older, maybe certainly older than 19. Maybe some people don't seem to remember what they did when they were 19. You think, "Oh no, who would do that?" Well, no, we wouldn't do that, because we're in a whole different phase of life now. We wouldn't do it. But I look back at what I did when I was his age. I may well have done it, easily have done that. I've done some crazy things when I was 19, and I didn't think they were crazy at the time. It just seemed like normal, but they were crazy, and I wouldn't like to think that my child was doing them. But that's what I did. Most of them revolved around drink, or you go out for a night out. That's when you do ridiculous things, and from what we can see, Jay had definitely had a bit to drink and probably taken substances as well, probably a mixture of everything. It's an accident. It was awful. But anyway, we'll see what his family say about it eventually when they do decide to speak. Because they, of course, know a lot more than we do. Maybe there is more evidence that will come out in the future, but I personally will wait for that to happen. But on the basis of what we know now, I don't see that there's anything suspicious about this case, but we'll see. So anyway, the coroner, we love the coroner, don't we not? The coroner that dealt with Nicola's case, which of course was James Adderley, the TV celebrity. He does his cause of death series on the telly. I think it's on a Wednesday night. I think there's a series on at the moment. He's the coroner for Lancashire Crown Court, so it may be him that's making the final decision, taking the inquest. If it's him and not, maybe, I don't know if there's an assistant coroner or whatever. So we'll see. That's to look ahead to. We're not sure, are we, what might happen. Now, And of course, for those of you who maybe don't know, this is Nicola Bulley. It's my favourite picture of Nicola. Though I've got to say on this picture, she looks very sad. She really does look sad on this picture. And I'm not sure, is this a black eye here or is it shadows under her eyes? You know, I've got lots and lots of photos of Nicola. Let me show you some of the others. That picture of her with the lamb, she just looks completely different. This is Willow, her little dog, that she was walking down by the river. So on all these pictures, she's got a different look to her, hasn't she? I think. And then when we come to the lamb picture, much as I love the picture, she doesn't look happy, does she? She doesn't look happy. Now, I don't know when that picture was taken. I'd be interested to know if anybody does know the actual date of that picture, because that is when, to me, she looks the saddest. But anyway, I've got a playlist about Nicola Bulley. I've done many, many videos about Nicola's case, but we're talking about Jay tonight. Now then, so I want to show you what our friend Paul Arnott has been up to, because of course Paul Arnott, let's find Paul. Paul Arnott is the sort of self-proclaimed mountaineering expert who jetted off to Tenerife to help to look for Jay. And we've been following his videos. But of course, he's given up all that now, or hasta ahora, as we say. Until now, he seems to have gone all quiet as far as looking for missing people is concerned. He went directly from looking for Jay. He went directly over to Sardinia to look for Michael Frisson, who seems to have been totally forgotten by everybody now, in Sardinia. And then he just suddenly decided he was going home from there, never really said why or whatever, like just as he left Tenerife, quickly, instantly, got to get out of Tenerife, guys, got to get out of Tenerife. And off he went to Sardinia, and then it was, I've got to get out of Sardinia. Got to get back to the UK, guys. Got to get back to the UK. And I believe he's going abroad again soon, but he hasn't told us where he's going. Now, he has been in the UK. So let me see. Oh, he's put another post up now. So now, he went to visit the family, obviously. And this is a nice picture. Saying goodbye to my beautiful grandparents until Christmas. So he's obviously on his travels now, and he'll be going back to see his grandparents at Christmas time. And then he took this photo of the train leaving this little place I call home. And people obviously are surmising that he's going for Jay's funeral tomorrow. So Jay's funeral funeral or celebration of life, whichever way you want to look at it, or whatever you want to call it. I'm going to show you the post for that. Then he's got this: Central London, a city full of memories. And then he was on a train to Accrington. Let's have a look at that. Accrington is right near Oswaldtwistle, where Jay Slater lived. So he's definitely on his. I know. I'm going to be in that area. He's going to be in Oswaldtwistle, obviously. He won't want to say exactly where he's going to be, but he's definitely, that Accrington is right next to where Oswaldtwistle, where Jay's from, so he's definitely going to the funeral. Though he's not replied to anyone who's asked him that, and he's quite rude, I think, on his post, because he never replies to anybody. I mean, it's difficult to reply to everyone, I know that, and I'm just a small YouTube channel. He's got a lot more followers than me, but he definitely reads them, because when he wants to answer, he answers. So it's not as if he never answers. He answers when he feels like it, doesn't he? Anyway, it's his channel. Manchester area, guys, for about 2 days. Why don't you just say he's going to Jay's memorial? So he's leaving the UK again. Where's he going this time? Is he going back to Sardinia? Has he got another missing person, or is he just going somewhere completely different? I mean, who knows? But didn't you book a ticket? Didn't you book a seat? Anyway, I mean, the trains are pretty crapo, aren't they, in the UK? Unfortunately, because I do like trains. Oh, one more time. Big ups. So he's going to catch up with us all when he gets into Accrington, which actually I think he has done. I think he has updated. Here we go. Oh, it looks like a travelling or something. I can definitely tell I'm up north. It's freezing. That does quite make me laugh, because of course I bet it will be freezing compared to London. Oh dear. And of course he's been used to Sardinia and Tenerife. Oh, a video. Let's have a look. Does look nice. Oh, nice to have a big TV, but I don't watch TV. But it's nice to have a big TV. Yeah, it does look nice. Wonder where he is. Oh, it's hot now. Oh, it's hot now. Oh, it's a swimming pool and everything, but it's hot there now. He was freezing when he first got there. Mm. I wonder if it's, oh God, he's looking, he's working out his escape route. I wonder if it's a Travelodge or a Holiday Inn, not Holiday Inn, what's that other one? Travelodge, Premier Inn or something like that. But it's true that I find that when I'm in the UK, I mean, it's not very often that I stay in hotels, but occasionally I've stayed in Premier Inns or whatever. It's boiling inside, it's freezing outside. And then inside, you can't breathe and you can't open the windows sometimes. And when one place I stayed at a few years ago in Liverpool, the windows you couldn't open them. I presume that's for safety reason, like stop people getting in as opposed to stop people getting out. Oh, but it's stifling because here in Spain, you've always got the windows open, except, this time of year, which you do have the windows closed because otherwise the aircon doesn't work properly. But I hate the aircon. I'd rather have a breeze coming through. I like fresh air. And I do find it quite stifling sometimes in the UK, even though it's lovely to have that central heating and the carpets and the curtains, but it just feels it's quite oppressive sometimes. He does repeat everything he says, doesn't he? He does repeat everything he says, doesn't he? Doesn't he, guys? It's madness, guys. Oh. Now, I've noticed when he was in Tenerife, he didn't show us any of his bathrooms. And when he was in Sardinia, I don't think when he was there, he was staying in a nice place like this, was he? He was, I think when he was in Sardinia, wasn't he in like a farmhouse type thing? And God, we could never work out where he was staying when he was in Tenerife, who knows? But I know when he was in those places, he didn't go to all these details showing us everything. He's enjoying this, isn't he? So it's nice. It's lovely. I love staying in hotels. I've got to say, I really do. It's my favourite. I could live in a hotel. There's some people in Manchester, some famous people, where to say famous, people off Coronation Street and stuff like that. They live in the hotels, in a suite in the hotels. That's what I'd like to do, I think. Just imagine you never had to wash your bedding or clean or anything. It'd be bloody brilliant. Oh, it looks lovely. It's so green and it looks really breezy. And if it rains later and he films it, I'll be like so homesick. So there you go. So that's where Paul is. So he's going to go to Jay's funeral tomorrow. It's because he got quite close to Jay's family, didn't he? So they've probably invited him, and maybe he's going to do a stream of it or something. Who knows? We'll find out tomorrow, I suppose. Oh, something else that I want. Oh, so yeah, I want to show you the. We did look at it the other day, but you may have forgotten. I just want to show you the announcement. Remembering we'd love Jay Dean Slater of Fountains Way, Oswaldtwistle, who passed away unexpectedly on Monday, the 17th of June, 2024, while on holiday in Tenerife. And then it tells us a little bit about Jay. Now we know that Jay has got past, he's got a criminal past as well, but you know what? I'm not going to talk about that in this video. We have to forget that the boy's deceased. The boy that the victim in the question of the in the, you know, with the bad thing that happened, that Jay got involved with. He's forgiven Jay. He'll probably be at this service tomorrow. So I don't think it's up to me to criticise Jay for whatever he got involved in when he was 16. So I'm not going to talk about that. I'm sure some of you might have something to say about it. You know, I just think, well, it's murder being perfect, isn't it? So after Jay left Riddings High School, he went on to become an apprentice bricklayer with the PH Build Group, a job he greatly enjoyed. At the young age of 5, Jay started playing football for Huncote United FC until the age of 17. Gosh, I'm getting emotional because, you know, Jay, you know, I don't know what happened to him in that bad time he went through. He obviously got involved in the wrong crowd one way or another. But, you know, to all intents and purposes, in every other way, he seems to have just been a normal young lad. Anyway, he also did a few seasons with the Sunday team at St. Joseph's. He also loved spending time chilling out with his friends. His love of music and dance started at a very young age. He loved attending music festivals and events across the country. And he also loved to socialise and meet new people. So he was a loving son of Debbie and Warren. And I do think, you know, you can see how close he was definitely to his mum. You know, there's so many photos and videos of him with his mum, and seems to me they had a very nice relationship. So he was a cherished brother of Zach and brother-in-law to Jessica, a treasured grandson of Dawn, June and the late Dougie, a much-loved nephew of Glenn and Katie, a dear cousin of Maddie and Tilly, and a loyal friend to many. Jay will be very sadly missed by all those who knew him. A celebration of life service will be held at 10:30 a.m. on Saturday the 10th of August. So that's tomorrow. Now, if I don't know if Paul is streaming that, if he is, or if there's any sort of streaming of it, I will definitely be showing that at some point tomorrow, if not actually live. You know, I can't, you're not supposed to live stream a live stream, if you like, somebody else's live stream. But if he does live stream it, I would definitely be showing that video at some point tomorrow. So he will be, at Accrington Cemetery Chapel prior to interment. Oh no, maybe it is the actual funeral. So it says interment. So is he going to be buried as opposed to cremated? Anyway, those attended are to wear something blue in his memory. Family flowers only, but if you'd like to bring a single rose to place with Jay, they're welcome, but no bouquets. And donations in lieu of flowers are being received for the charity LBT Global and can be made either on the day or using the link, and the link is there. And further enquiries, please to Paul Barton of Barton and Holworth Funeral Service. And then there's the address and phone number. Here, these are other missing persons. Okay, so that's happening tomorrow at 10:30. If I was in the UK, I would go, because they're not telling people not to go. I would definitely go to the service and pay my respects, because I felt this case, because he could be my son or he could be me when I was young, doing stupid things, you know, like I used to do. So, you know, many years ago. But I was lucky to survive all the daft things I've done. Unfortunately for Jay, he did not. So it's very sad. So after that, though, and another thing I just want to mention is the charity for whom the donations are going. If people donate now, they will go to the charity, the LBT charity, who helps, you know, not only has helped, let's find them again. LBT Global have not only helped Jay Slater's family, but have helped. They're helping Michael Frison. They're calling for volunteers to help search in Sardinia. They're helping with Jack O'Sullivan. And they reported, though, that people are actually I mean, this is just disgusting. People whinging about what Debbie's doing with the GoFundMe or not doing with the GoFundMe, and people interfering in something that's absolutely none of their business. And in the meantime, these scammers, these are the people you should be condemning. People that are selling links to Jay's funeral, even though there is no link to Jay's funeral. But people are actually charging, offering access to a live stream of the funeral in turn for likes, etc. Let's have a look. Heartless online scammers have targeted Jay Slater's funeral. A number of accounts have sprung up, offering access to a live stream of the funeral in return for likes, follows, and even donations. LBT Global, a charity assisting the family, has had some of the accounts removed, but say it is endless work. It's massive, this social media thing. Trying to get to grips with social media is hard, and I think Keir Starmer's doing really well at the moment to do it in the wake of all the riots and everything, trying to strike the right balance. Don't underestimate how difficult it is. It's a difficult thing to tackle, because there'll always be some people who say, like there is, the far right are saying, oh, you're only attacking us, you're not attacking the anti-racists. But they are actually, and there's been just as many as, well, anyone who does anything wrong is being arrested. So it doesn't matter who you are, if you're spreading hate, whether it be hate against the fascists or hate from the fascists against the Muslims or whoever, immigrants, etc. Anyone who's spreading hate online, that's not the same as having your opinion online. That's not the same as saying, oh, well, I think immigration needs to be looked at, or I think this, or I think that. This is people actually inciting violence against somebody else. That is not acceptable from anyone. Anyone. Anyway, so yeah, Chief Executive Matthew Searle said, we are inundated with reports of these scams, and as fast as we can get the platforms to remove them, or probably Elon Musk, he doesn't want to remove them because it's free speech. What a prat he is. And as fast as we can get the platforms to remove them, more appear. To be completely clear, there is no live stream of Jay's funeral, and anyone claiming to offer one is a scam. As much as being hurtful and deeply unrespectful, it's taking vital donations away from a small charity. The only donation page linked to the funeral and for donations in memory of Jay is blah, 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 blah. And we ask that anyone seeing one of these pages reports it to the platform. Please don't follow them or send them money. It's so typical of the vile trolling this family has received for them to target something so special as a funeral. And LBT Global is handling all media for the family, and any inquiries should be directed via email and do not approach the family or friends. So there you go. LBT Global, I think it's a very good charity. You never know. All of us, there's not one of us doesn't know that we might need that one day. Either for us, because people, there's none of us. If you don't go on holiday, your family will go on holiday, and maybe need help. Hopefully never. But, most people, what we've got to remember is most people go on holiday. Nothing happens, does it? And you come home and you think, don't know why I bothered with that holiday insurance. It's cost me all that money and I never needed it. That's like this. You hope that you won't need it. Most people, probably 99% of people, You go on your holiday, nothing happens. You don't need any insurance. You don't need any help. You don't need anything. But, you know, it's always that 1%, isn't it? What if it happens? So it's nice to think that if it did happen, if the worst did happen, that there would be somebody that you could call on to help you, especially if you're in a place where, you know, it's a language barrier, you know, because it's bad enough if things happen in your own country. But if something happened while you were out of the country, you know, in a different country with a different language, and you not only you didn't know the language, but you didn't know the culture, you didn't know the procedures, how they deal with missing persons. Oh, there's so many things you wouldn't know. So, you know, the fact that this overseas crisis support is there, because I'll tell you something, the consulate, they're not much help. In my experience of all the years I've lived in Spain, my own personal experience, but also experiences with other people, the consulate, sometimes I think, what do they actually do? You know, what do they do? You know, they're just there. It's like lip service. When you actually need help, they don't help you. These will be the kind of people that will help you. So forget the consulate and contact LBT Global if you're ever abroad and you need any help with anything. Because it's not only about missing people, it says overseas crisis support. You know, so that's not, you know, it could be anything, could be any reason that you need support. So bear that in mind. Right, where am I? I think that might be just about it. Now, what I'm going to do at the end of this video, now as I'm finishing it off, I'm going to just do a little bit of my housekeeping, which I very rarely do. I keep forgetting to do. I've got some books for sale. I teach Spanish. Some of you all know that my day job, if you like, is teaching Spanish. I seem to be doing more on the YouTube these days and teaching Spanish, but I need to remember that that is my bread and butter. And much as I enjoy doing the YouTube videos, they don't pay very well, so I have to earn money somehow. So I'm going to play my little video about the Spanish classes. I'm going to play a video about the book that I've written, Confessions of a Spanish Teacher, which is a book about my life, if you want to know anything about me. So you can either click out now, or if you want to stay and watch them and maybe chat as well, because of course as this will be released in a premiere, this video, so you can chat between yourselves. So stay on a bit, have a little chat or watch the videos, and then right at the end I'm going to play a couple of little videos about Jay. So thank you so much for watching. As always, I'll be back tomorrow, definitely one way or another. And sleep well. I hope it's cooler where you are than it is where I am here in mainland Spain. It is suffocatingly hot. But anyway, I hope it's a bit cooler where you are and you can breathe. And I will see you very soon in the next video. And until then, may your God go with you. Now, I've just got to find these videos now. That'll probably take me a little while, but right, what I'm going to put on first. So, little thing about my Spanish classes first. Oh, so don't forget to press the like button. Leave your DNA on the like button. And if you're not subscribed, please consider it, because that is absolutely free. Hola, soy Vicki. And are you wanting to learn Spanish? Have you been trying to learn Spanish and it's just you can't put the words together? Common thing that people say to me is, I know a lot of words, but I just can't put a sentence together. So I'm here to tell you how you can learn Spanish through English. Learn how to make sentences, not phrasebook Spanish. Learn how to ask questions, answer questions. Right from beginner or whatever level you are, if you're struggling in putting it all together, there'll be a level I can offer you a solution. So I've been teaching Spanish for over 20 years to English speaking people. And these are the books that I have written. Break the Language Barrier Level 1 for beginners. Level 2 for intermediate or sort of pre-intermediate. Level 3 intermediate. Level 4 upper intermediate. And level 5 for advanced. Because really level 5 is to practice what you've already learned. So if you've already learned a lot of Spanish, but you want some practice with translations, conversation practice, games, etc., level 5 is for you. If you know more than level 1, in other words, you know how to already speak in the present tense, if your grammar has gone past the present tense but you're struggling with the past tenses, level 2 is the book for you. All these books are available on Amazon. Any Amazon, wherever you are in the world that you want to learn Spanish, you can order one of my books from Amazon. The other thing you can do, you may be interested in Zoom classes. I've left my contact details here on the video so that you can WhatsApp me or email me if you want to know about Zoom classes and how they work. Or another way you can learn is, along with the book, have recorded classes to learn. So although we're not sort of face-to-face as we would be on a Zoom class, you can still ask me questions. You can watch the class, on the video, watch the class which goes with the book. All the books have everything is, the classes, I can either teach you face-to-face like we're talking now in Zoom classes, or if either your budget doesn't run that far or you haven't got the time for Zoom classes, we can do it as a course where you get the book and you get the actual recorded classes, and you can learn in your own time, but you can still ask me questions by email, just not in the moment because it's not an actual one-to-one class, but you'll find that is reflected in the price. So if you want more details of how you can become better at Spanish, and remember, it's always progress, not perfection that we're looking for. Perfection is impossible. Believe me, if you're going for perfection, that's not going to happen for a long time, if ever. But communication, confidence, fluidity, all those add up to be fluency, don't they? Okay, so my books offer explanations in English, step-by-step, easy to follow grammar, gradual build of vocabulary and conversation skills, and all the answers are included, and you always have full internet backup. In other words, you can always email me or WhatsApp me a question and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Okay, so what are you waiting for? If you want to learn Spanish, don't hesitate. Okay, gracias y hasta pronto. Hey, it's me, Vicki Marie. Did you ever want to know a little bit more about me and my background, how I came to become interested in true crime, how I ended up in Spain being a Spanish teacher? If you want to know a little bit about me, a little bit more about me as a person, you can find my book, Confessions of a Spanish Teacher, on any Amazon site, wherever you live in the world. And I believe that everyone has a story to tell, and this is my story. So it's the story of how I grew up in Manchester in the UK on a council estate, and very humble beginnings, and my journey through personal tragedies, disastrous romances, and triumphs to become a single mum, a Spanish teacher, and an interpreter living in Spain, and eventually a YouTuber reporting on true crime. So it details my various experiences with people and places over 20 years of teaching, over 20 years now. Ooh, where did that go? Of teaching Spanish and interpreting through the backdrop of the recession, financial uncertainty, severe flooding, and living through COVID. I hope you will find it funny, sad, amazing, silly, serious, and stranger than fiction at times. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope to make you angry at least once. I hope to make you cry at least twice, and I hope to make you laugh many, many times. So thank you for all your support on my YouTube channel, and if you want to know a little bit more about me as a person, then you can find out there. So thank you so much. See you very soon in the next video. And as always, till then, may your God go with you. Bye.